Welcome to this rather belated online service for Logie Kirk, Sunday, the 13th of March. For the whole series of Lent, we're going to talk about hope. So on Sunday, today's reading is from Luke chapter 9, the Transfiguration. About a week after he had said these things, now these things that Luke refers to is that Jesus gave them strict orders to tell no one, and that he said, "Follow me." So he took Peter, John, James with him and went up a hill to pray. And while he was praying, his face changed its appearance, and his clothes became dazzling white. Suddenly, two men were talking with him. They were Moses and Elijah, who appeared in heavenly glory and talked with Jesus about the way in which he would soon fulfill God's purpose by dying in Jerusalem. Peter and his companions were sound asleep, but they woke up and saw Jesus' glory, and the two men were standing with him. As the men were leaving Jesus, Peter said to him, "Master, how good is it that we are here? We will make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He did not really know what he was saying. That's very typical of Peter. While he was still speaking, a cloud appeared and covered them with shadow, and the disciples were afraid as the cloud came over them. A voice said from the cloud, "This is my son, whom I have chosen. Listen to him." When the voice stopped, there was Jesus all alone. The disciples kept quiet about all this and told no one at that time what they had seen. So that's our reading. So if we reflect on hope in this story, is what happens, especially when Peter wakes up and the disciples wake up. He's filled with hope. He wants to keep things the way they are. He says, yes, that's the way it should be. Let's remain where we are. Let's build tents. Let's keep Moses. Let's keep Elijah. Almost let's remain here unchanged. Now, that seems like hope, but it's not really hope. It is just not moving ahead on God's purpose. While on the other hand, what Jesus does is he's following his purpose, he's following his lead, and that is where there's hope, not only for them, but hope for the world. So that's the story about hope. If we reflect about hope in our own world, in the recent week, there was a beautiful story about Sir Ernest Shackleton's ship, the Endurance, that was discovered. Now, the story about Shackleton was absolutely one of hope. How he decided to move forward and at the end saved all his crew from death in the Antarctic. But what does it mean for us, dear friends? How can we live with hope? How can we, in this world where things have turned bad in Eastern Europe and the effect is all over the world, where can we find hope? Well, there are 2 things that comes to us in this passage. The one is to take the next step. Don't try to remain. Don't think, well, the way it was better. We have to take a step. Take today's step. Do something today. Let's be who we can be today. And rather than reflecting on all the dire situations, take a step of hope and beauty. So that's the first. And the second is to do that together. Although Peter wants to keep things together, Jesus says, no, there's another way. Stay with me. Follow me. And these 2 things, I believe, is hopeful for us. Take the step today, all of us. Be who we are, the best who we are. Rather than reflecting on all the bad things in the world, let us take that step. And secondly, let's do it together, not only together with each other, but with knowledge of the presence of God. So may God bless you and me and all of us as we live in this world and live as his people. Amen.